Jerrod Carmichael.
Ooh.
He is a popular comedian, and he has a reality show that is, I think it just dropped. I have not watched it, to be full transparency, but there is a particular clip from the reality show that's getting a lot of press. I guess his current boyfriend, could be his past boyfriend, is white, and Jerrod Carmichael makes a joke. Maybe it's not a joke, I don't know. That him and his boyfriend, they do race play in bed.
Mm-mm.
Now, for folks who may not know, I'm sure you could figure it out. Race play in bed is when you play racial roles in the bedroom. Now, I don't police nobody's bedroom, but Jerrod Carmichael, why are you laughing?
I
Lisa?
mean, yeah,
Jerrod, I mean, you do what you do. You do what you do as long as it's, there is
consensual.
consent. Yeah, you do what you do. But Jerrod Carmichael made a joke about this. Listen to this.
Sometimes joke to him that like our relationship is like that of like a slave and the master son who like teaches me how to read by candlelight. Yeah, he groans too because he's a good person. He doesn't like that fucking joke. I like that joke. That's my burden. I think that shit's hilarious. Yes, sir. Marie Antoinette, sir. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's a joke.
So if you couldn't fully hear it, basically he said that he likes to joke that his boyfriend is the master and he's the slave. And the joke is, yes, sir, Marie Antoinette. I don't know who that is, sir. And he said his boyfriend doesn't like the joke because his boyfriend is a good person and it's his joke. So, very interesting. A lot of talk around this. Reese Colbert, what are your thoughts?
I have watched the show.
Okay, good.
I have
Okay,
watched the show. Okay, because my toxic trait is when something is getting dragged and people talk about how disgraceful something is. I'm like, now wait a minute. This sounds like something I need to check out. So I said, okay, let me check this show out. Okay. Now I
okay,
did not find his sitcom funny. On
okay.
Netflix. Wasn't my, shtick, whatever. That's
I
fine.
remember that. He had a sitcom, right? Yeah.
He did. He did. My husband put it on and I would half watch it. I was like, this isn't funny to me, whatever. But that was before I think he came out as gay and all that kind of stuff. So it
Yeah, it was
wasn't,
different.
yeah, it was a completely different kind of sitcom. Still wasn't funny to me. I
Right.
haven't followed his stand-up career, but it was getting dragged all over the internet. So I said, well, let me check this out, see if it's as bad as people are saying. It was bad. Okay, it was definitely bad. Now, part of my issue is and in this moment, like, Kourtney Kardashian said it best. There's people dying, Kim. Like in this moment in our society, I feel like there are real problems. So I'm just not super sympathetic or in the market for like a wealthy, a rich, famous, angsty person who feels so. I mean, you can be rich and famous and have feelings. I'm not saying you don't have feelings, but I just ain't really into the woe is me. I'm so rich and famous and I don't know what to do with myself. And then it's like cringy, weird comedy, self-deprecating. And the episode that I saw. Now I knew that this particular scene was going to happen because that was what he was getting dragged for. But even when this scene happened, my mouth hit the floor and I said, okay, I'm done. I'm done. So there's a scene, he's going to the Emmys and he's trying to get Tyler the Creator, who he confessed his love for. It's unrequited. Well, how do you say that word?
Unrequited. Am I saying it right?
Unrequited, whatever.
Unrequited.
It's not mutual. Okay.
Right,
So
right.
he's just like, well, maybe I'll just get a twink or something off of like a dating app and I'll take him as a date or whatever.
For folks who don't know what a twink is, that's a slang for maybe a lean, skinny type of guy.
Yeah, but he was talking about like a white or Latin guy. The thing that did it for me was he's sucking this guy's toes. And to me, like that was too much for me because I'm just like, damn, you're the rich, famous black guy. And you're sucking this stranger's toes. Like the power dynamics for me, it was a turn off for me because I'm like, why isn't he sucking your toes? You're the rich guy, you're the famous guy. Like you should be getting your toes sucked. That's probably toxic of me as well. But I said, oh no, I can't do this. I cannot do you sucking a white man. So even though I knew that was gonna happen, it was too much for me in that moment. So with all of that context.
Wait, pause. Do you see it on camera?
Yes.
Him sucking this guy's toe?
Yes.
You see it on camera?
Yes.
Oh.
His whole fucking foot is in this man's mouth. And he's like sucking it and he's rubbing it. And the guy is just like enjoy. And I mean, they're on a couch, okay. But it's like it almost came out of nowhere. Cause like 1 second the guy walks in, they're talking, next second, he's like sucking this guy's fucking toes, like whole foot in mouth. And I was just like, flabbergasted, even though I knew it was coming. It's kind of like when David Tron said jigaboo, and I knew he was gonna say jigaboo, but when I heard, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Like that's the energy. I was like, I can't fucking believe this black man is something that's sucking this Latino man's whole foot.
Sorry, quickly, in case folks don't know, David Tron was the Democrat who claimed he slipped and said that horrible racial slur. He meant to say what, bugaboo or something like that. I forgot what it was. That's what he claimed. So just in case folks may not know, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even though I knew at some point in the series this was gonna happen, I still was shocked because it's weird. So to me, I feel like he has some deep-seated issues, and that's okay if you want to work it out. And I think that's okay if you want to work it out publicly, but I just think that it's very unhinged for you to find pleasure in being humiliated racially, being degraded, defiled racially. And I don't know where that came from, but I don't think, it's not even about you being gay, because I think if a black man said this about a white woman, if a black woman, God forbid, said this is about a white man, it will be a whole motherfucking scandal. So it's not even about sexuality. I just think that he got some deep-seated racial issues, and that is kind of his shtick. And it seems to have been working for him. He was Emmy nominated. He got this fucked up reality show. So part of it is a shtick and part of it is a deep-seated issue. But either way, brother, and I don't even use that word a lot because it could be a little patronizing, but bruh, can you work it out with Ayanla? Can we get an Ayanla fix my life situation going on? Because this got to be stopped. Or at least keep it quiet. Keep it mute, okay?
So, a couple things here. What y'all may not know out there for our, heterosexual folks, there is a big debate in black gay circles, black gay men specifically, about interracial dating. Because just like we say in straight communities, a lot of the famous black gay men, they all appear to be with white guys.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And this is what it appears to be. Now, I always remind people, though, according to the CDC, black gay men date other black gay men more than any other demographic. So in the real world, it really is a non-issue.
Yeah.
Right? But and I'm going to list names, and I know some of these people, and this is no disrespect to y'all, but when you think about RuPaul and Billy Porter and Jason Collins and Jerrod Carmichael and
Don Lemon just got married.
Don Lemon, and I don't care because I don't believe in good policing.
No,
I really don't care. And if you find wherever love is so difficult, it's so difficult. If you find it, I say especially for gay people, we're always being judged for our relationships. So my father would rather I came home with a white woman than a black man. Real talk. That's just the truth.
Wow.
And I know for a lot of black gay men, that's our experience too.
But what about a black gay man over a white gay man?
I don't even know if my dad would see that lens.
Yeah, it might not. It was just all bad for him.
It might not click. For a lot of us, and I know y'all are nodding your head, your daddy would rather you come home with a white woman than a black man. So there's that little nuance to it that you deal with the intersection of being black and also being gay.
Mm-hmm.
So just want to give a little bit of context to that part of the reason why he's being dragged. Uh, I didn't find it funny. I didn't
Yeah.
find it interesting. I didn't find it clever at all. The one thing that I don't know if confused is the right word, is that I keep on hearing comedians say that it's comedy, that it's comedy, 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 comedy. Stop being offended. It's comedy. And I'm sure y'all know the names that I could list. That well, it's comedy, and comedians are under attack.
Yeah.
Comedy, 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 comedy. So I've always wanted to know, what is the line? Is there a line with the it's comedy angle? Now, what he's doing is deeply self-deprecating.
Yeah. It
What other
really
communities have, what other comedians have done is like insult entire groups of people and say that it's comedy. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I understand some folks would be insulted by what Jerrod Carmichael is saying, but my question remains: what is the comedy lane? I don't find race play, master slave. I don't find a chuckle in that. But the lane is always it's comedy. And so
Yeah.
are you trying? I mean, if you're trying to be provocative, you got to be provocative, in my opinion. I don't know the brother, never met him before. You got to be provocative and still be clever with it. But it's comedy. It's comedy. So I thought it was kind of vile, but I am
Vile. Oh.
confused by this language of it's comedy. Now, I'm also curious, did this actually happen?
I
Or is he just,
100% believe it happened.
you believe they're actually doing race
Yes.
play in the bedroom?
Yes. And I believe him. I
Or is it a
absolutely.
bit?
No, honey. If you've seen that show, I think you will believe everything he's saying about that. Yes. I mean, is it a bit? Yes, but is it a bit that didn't happen? No, I think he telling some truth there. Nah. Now, what are the criticisms? Because I mean, I know my reaction, but is it like this is a disgrace to the black race? Like you're betraying black gay men? Like what is the
Well, the
specifically the issue that
criticism
people
is,
are having with them?
one, he has a history of saying that he prefers white guys. And
Okay.
I don't have the quote in front of me, but one of the things that he said was, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't have all the details, but I think he said years ago, he has to deal with that internal hate. And part of the reason why he does is because I believe he experienced so much homophobia from black men. And I
Okay.
could be paraphrasing it here. I don't have all the details, but allegedly, reportedly, something like that. That's the reason why he prefers white guys. And so I just think for a lot of black gay men, they are tired of this narrative of all these celebrities, black male celebrities appear to connect with white dudes. And
Yeah. I've heard
so,
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I think it's people just find it a little bit disgusting. And I I feel you. I don't feel like now is the place or the time for that kind of joke. But again, Reese, all I keep on hearing from, and I've interviewed comedians, and they have said people are too sensitive, and it's comedy. Now, you're only too sensitive until you're offended.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're, so I don't.
But I
That's
don't
why for
know
me
what the
there's a line, there's a barometer for me, and for me this crosses the line. Just for
it
me, this is
crosses
my
the line.
opinion.
But see, okay, I don't think that it crosses the line in comedy. I don't think that it's
You
funny.
don't.
I don't think so because I mean, I think he's talking about his experience. I think
Hmm.
that his experience is weird as fuck. I think that he's weird as fuck. I think he would tell you he's weird as fuck. And I think now the only area where I wouldn't say crosses the line, but the thing that I don't like about the situation is his audience is like white people. And so to me, I feel like it kind of normalizes anti-blackness and like gay relationships or like kind of like this idea that black men, as like they put like white, men on a pedestal or something. So I mean, I think that the racial politics of it is not cool in the sense of like, well, is he kind of normalizing a certain like racial hierarchy essentially within the gay community? I don't like that. And I don't like the idea of white people laughing at a black man being called a slave. Like in the bedroom. To me, I don't, like, certain jokes, like, you go to certain comedy shows and the audience is going to be more mixed because you're at, a Dave Chappelle or a Chris Rock or something that they're at that stature. And it's going to be jokes that the white folks laugh at, and it's going to be jokes that the black folks laugh at. And so this joke being kind of targeted towards a white audience, I don't like that. I don't like that. But in terms of his right to have the joke, I don't have a problem with it. I just don't think it's funny. But I think that is he playing into maybe white racial, not all, but white racial fantasies about slave play, slave play racial. I think he's playing into that for profit. And I think that's sleazy. And I think that is problematic.
I'll add one more layer, then we'll go to the calls. I think he has really been hurt deeply,
That's my concern.
deeply, deeply hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are shamed and hurt by your own community, that can manifest in really complicated ways. There was a clip that I saw from the reality show where he's talking to his mother about his sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother says, well, whether you're a murderer or you choose to be gay, I'm still going to love you. And he said something really important. He said, you just compared me to a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
You just acted like being gay, like I'm Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
So I think he went through a lot of church hurt, a lot of what I call spiritual and theological violence. I don't know how that hurt is acting out. And I know people who've really acted out in dangerous and unhealthy ways because of that kind of dogma from your mother.
Yeah.
From your mother. So I know folks might roll their eyes, oh, Clay, he didn't got, but I mean, a lot of people, I did a whole doc on this. I've been through this before.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, comparing your natural, who you naturally are, to a killer, to a murderer,
right?
And you know that your parent feels that way, and that's only what we saw on camera. Can you imagine what he grew up with?
Mm.
And so maybe this is the way he's acting out. Maybe he's putting his demons out there in a way. That's why I try and tell y'all that whole thing: love the sinner, hate the sin. That's just putting a bow on some shit.
Right. It's awful. I agree.
It's awful. And so I don't know. I want to give a little, not grace, but
no, I think he deserves grace. I do think he deserves grace. I'll take back what I said, because I did say earlier, like, there's people dying him, and he came across like, oh, woe is me. I think that the rejection that he feels from his mother and maybe from other people around his sexuality, he's deeply wounded. And on that aspect, I really feel for him, because this is a person who has a lot to celebrate with his accolades, with his fame, with his wealth. And he is clearly very wounded. And I hate that for any person. I do have empathy for that. And I think that if that was its own show, that could be something really powerful to explore.
Yeah.
I think when you mix that with like the self-deprecation around being famous and being, he does some other really weird shit. I think then it kind of muddies the water a little bit in terms of like being able to process that this is a deeply wounded person who, like you said, may be acting out in certain ways.